30p Lee Anderson, Reform UK MP for Ashfield, is prone to gaffes and saying pretty stupid things. Recently, he got into some hot water by telling a parliamentary security team member to F off in relation to a mix up over his pass. The man did apologise in the chamber, and it was quite sweet to see him with his little written apology, and he seems to be very sincere in his apology, so I'll forgive you, Lee. But your next gaffe is unforgivable. He, this weekend, was asked by a local journalist, Will Haywood, about how he's going to cut spending for the NHS. And he couldn't answer. He fell apart under the most basic scrutiny. And I hope over the coming years we'll get more of this and we'll see what reform really are. So let's get into the video and watch Lee Anderson squirm over basic questions.
Just to be clear, the Welsh NHS waiting lists are hundreds of thousands of people, and you're going to change procurement and cut waste, and that, how long will that take to sort out those wait lists?
I don't know. Do you know?
Okay. I don't know. Do you know? He's asking you the question. You're the member of parliament who's trying to get reform members in the Senate in 18 months. You need to be able to answer these basic questions. If you're claiming to, want to make Britain great again, you're going to come in and cut spending and somehow it's miraculously going to make things better without a plan, without knowing where it's coming from, the cuts, you've got no hope. And this is basic questioning answers he should have if Reform UK have a plan.
No.
Well, you're running for office, I'm not.
No, I'm not running for office in here.
Your party is.
No, we're running for the Senate elections in 18 months' time.
If you were to
listen, you're not paying attention, are you? You're trying to catch me out. You're not paying attention. The NHS can be...
He's not trying to catch you out. He's trying to ask you a basic question and you don't know the answer. This isn't a gotcha. This is basic journalism.
Much better. It would be run much better with a reform government. Well, we know that for a fact.
But when you say run better,
we know that for a fact. Based on what? Based on what? Nothing. There's no evidence. He's not giving any evidence here. They've been in, he's been an MP for reform for a few months. We've seen Farage flee to America as soon as Trump wants him there. What evidence does he have for this?
understand what that means.
You're just not paying attention to anything.
You said I'm going to cut waste. You haven't said anything else.
Cut the waste, make it run more efficiently.
Which waste?
Use the private sector. Procurement, anything you buy within the NHS can be bought cheaper.
But that's going to reduce...
Who though? Yeah, but it's all privatised. It's all outsourced. So how can you make it cheaper? You need to have an actual plan. You can't just say cut waste. It's not a plan. That's meaningless.
waiting lists.
Well, of course it is, because you can use that money to employ more people.
Right, so how much would you save?
I've no idea.
But you're running for office. Like, your party's running to run the Welsh NHS, but you don't know how...
It's going to be millions and millions of pounds.
I have no idea. It's going to be millions and millions of pounds. This isn't an answer. This is not serious politics. If he claims to be, they claim to be a serious alternative to Labour. They claim to have a plan. They're going to make things better. We know that in reality that Farage wants to privatise the NHS. And this has been a kind of conservative project for the last decade or so. In 2010, the NHS was one of the most celebrated and actually highly rated health services in the world. There's been a systemic and systematic undermining, underfunding of the NHS because they want an American private health care system, basically, where, single payer insurance system, because they can make money off that. Whereas the NHS, it's not really built for profit making, and they don't like that. Everything's been sold off, everything, and this is their project. And they know the public love the NHS. The free at delivery, the fact that you can go get cancer surgery, go and get an operation, it's not going to cost you tens of thousands of pounds like it would in America. That's what they want. This is why they have no plan. They're just going to cut it. There's no plan except to undermine the NHS. And you do that by cutting the funding. And we've seen it over the last 14 years.
We know that for a fact. I mean, look at the money we're spaffing on the NHS.
But the Welsh NHS is £10 billion.
Yeah.
See, money we're spaffing. Yes, We spend a lot on the NHS because we've got an aging population. After pensions, yes, we spend a lot of money on the NHS, but surely our priority should be people's health, caring after our population, and that means investing in it correctly. And yes, it will mean taxing people, but people will pay more tax for the NHS. There's polls, there's data to suggest that people want the NHS to be funded correctly. We need to do it. We only have to tax people a little bit more, but it'll be worth it because we will have a healthy and secure NHS. That's what people want.
Even if you spend 200 million, it's 2%.
2% of what?
It's 2% of the Welsh NHS budget.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
200 million.
He just doesn't know. How is this guy a politician? He's so stupid. He doesn't know anything. How is this guy a politician?
It's 2% of 10 billion.
I'll repeat again what I've just said already.
Right.
There's millions and millions of pounds being wasted in the NHS, not just in Wales, but in England.
Okay, so you need evidence that. You can't just say it. Be specific. What can we cut? What can't? What impacts will it have on patients, doctors? Because we know there's a massive shortfall of doctors, 10,000, 40,000 nurses, 152,000 carers. Where are these coming from? With the anti-immigration rhetoric, it's made it harder to fill these places. It takes 7 or 8 years to train a doctor. It takes a lot of money. It takes time. Are we going to invest in training our own? And are we going to invest in the NHS? Because if Reform get in, they just want to cut it. They want to cut taxes, spend loads without actually having a funded plan. And under scrutiny, hopefully people realise they've got no plan. It's meaningless. They have no plan. And they're going to make the country worse. So comment below, will this kind of scrutiny, basic questions, show Reform UK for what they are? They don't believe anything except cutting taxes, money. And will people start to realise what they really represent? Not the people, but the wealth, the capitalist class, and just lining their own pockets, basically. Comment below and I'll see you in the next video.